Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Ground Up Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Terry Bargy, and this is
Roy, how are you doing?
Roy Mangrum, everybody.
I
Everybody.
should give my last name.
The
It's very
cheers.
unprofessional.
The cheers.
Roy Mangrum, how are you?
Yeah, and welcome to the most unprofessional entrepreneurial podcast on the market. And I think that's a positive thing.
Good.
It doesn't really matter.
Good, because either way, it's what we got.
It doesn't really matter. You watch a polished podcast out there, listen to a polished podcast. Those guys aren't in the weeds and in the trenches like we are.
No.
So
Nope.
that's I'm throwing shade out there.
Yeah.
So come at me.
Yep.
Speaking of being in the weeds, being in the trenches, we're in Santa's workshop. We're here with Uncle Roy.
Yeah, it's
What are we doing, Roy?
it's go time right now.
You're in peak season.
We're busy. So
What's that big old machine behind you?
that's one of our printers. We got another one that's going to be where I'm sitting now, next Friday. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. So yeah, I mean,
That's exciting.
it's just this time of year, man. It's just go. Everybody needs their stuff yesterday, which totally understand. We try to accommodate, and just means get here early, leave when it's done. You know,
Is
I've
it?
been getting here at 5.
Oh man.
Yeah.
When I know when I always call you, I could hear. I was like, oh, he's either on a train or he's running the printer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we have there's a lady that normally runs it, and she's on maternity leave.
Yes.
So this is a great entrepreneurial lesson. I was like, oh, I can just do that too for the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Turns out you can't.
Can't do
Yeah,
that.
you can't do that. There's is it last week? The week before last? It all runs together at this point. The week
Sure.
the week before last, I worked right at 120 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was getting here between 4:30 and 5.
Good grief.
So that was Monday. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we had an event downtown at the fairgrounds, which we started set up on Wednesday night. So I left here, drove to the fairgrounds, was there till 9, setting up. Come home, sleep, right back here, like 5 in the morning, trying to get stuff ready to finish taking down
Good
there.
grief.
So Thursday night I was there till, let's call it 9. Let's see, it was Thursday. Friday, I was there from 8 to 9. And that's the opposite sides. So that was 13 hours of standing on concrete. Yeah, 13 hours. I did not sit down one time. And it became a badge of honor at some point.
Yeah.
Like I went to pee and I was like, I could sit down for this one. And I was like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. I'm 10 hours deep. I'm not quitting now.
No one would know.
No shame in that. I'm
I
telling
can
you.
sit down right now. No one
My
would
feet
know.
hurt so bad. And then so Saturday, I was there like 4 hours, but I was here the rest of the time, printing and pressing and all that good stuff.
Good grief. That's a lot.
And then Sunday, I was there from open to close, then tore it all down, loaded it in the trailer.
Did you pay yourself overtime?
Oh, I got paid. I got paid.
Daddy got paid.
I got paid.
Don't you worry about me.
If I go and figure it on the hour, I probably made like $3.15 an hour, but I got paid.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
That'll take the wind right out of your
Yeah.
entrepreneurial
Yeah,
sales. Don't go by the hour on what you're making.
Yeah, that is nuts.
It's depressing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, I mean, it's good. It's this time of year. I love being this busy. Maybe next year we'll be this busy all the time. That'd be great. That's what we're pushing for.
Well, the evolution of just this year, me watching you from from the outside is like you're 18 months ago you quit your job, like your other day your day gig.
August 15th of 23.
Okay, so
how many months is that?
It's been a little longer than that. I'm not gonna do math. Not on air. I don't have my calculator. But point being is when you did that, it felt really scary, really shifty.
Sure.
And then you got super busy. And you were able to hire someone to do that, and then put you back in working on the business.
Yeah.
And then, so you can see the little surges of growth
Yeah.
in the little steps that you're taking in order to, create more business.
Yeah.
That's very encouraging, and I'm watching it like, okay.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There's some very scary moments.
Well, it's scary and it's not easy.
No, it's not easy, and there's some little thing like hiring somebody to run the machine. Like I ran the machine almost for a full 12 months. And, I'm doing that. I got my laptop sitting on top of it. I'm trying to do some stuff and then, go home and start again until whenever I got tired, but at some point I'm like, man, am I really productive if I'm just this like sporadic?
Yeah.
And it was scary. I was like, man, I don't know if I hire somebody to do that. I don't want to hire somebody and then have to lay them off.
Right.
But did it, and probably within 60 days, it was fine. When you see, oh wow, here's so many hours of the day that you're not focused on doing this,
right,
that you can actually do the other things. And then the same thing with, just hiring Christian to do, art and some sales and stuff like that. That takes some of the extra. It was like yesterday, he did like 6 pieces of art. I'm like, and I'm not the fastest. That probably saved me 3-4 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was getting done while I was doing something else.
Right.
So
So you get some of your day back.
Instead of waiting 24 hours to print those projects, like he would come in here and like, all right, it's in the Dropbox. Okie dokie. Now go ahead and print it now.
I love it.
So,
yeah, that's great. I think it's worth highlighting that there is, when you're in the grind, when you're in the trenches, when you're in the weeds, all the things, all those cliches in entrepreneur world, like seeing the little light of growth. The worry that I've always had, and I've noticed that it's not been real great for me with my boundaries, is trying to unwind when it's time to unwind. Like we're heading into the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Like we'll probably get a full 24 hours where we feel like, okay, we can celebrate, we can enjoy the holiday, we can be present before our brains start drifting off into what we could do, this, that, and the other. So that to me has been harder, notably, and some of that has to do with business success, right? Because it's exciting. And if you've got a good fire burning, a little gasoline here or there.
You never want to take your foot off the gas.
Yeah, and it's just...
If something's working, and I've seen it so many times over the years for myself, momentum creates more momentum.
Right.
And boy, as soon as you stop that ball rolling down the hill, it takes a second.
To get it back going.
To get it going, So I'm like, man, I just want to ride this wave.
So this podcast will come out next week, right? After Thanksgiving. Let's just talk to the entrepreneurs for a second. What does that look like for you to be present with family when you need to be? Like, what are your steps?
Yeah. Well, this year's different. Every year's, last year was, constantly on the computer all day Friday, dealing with, hey, my code's not working or whatever,
Black Friday's coming.
Black Friday stuff.
Yeah.
This year, today, Wednesday, I'm leaving here at 11, and I'm done.
I love that.
Yeah, Friday night. Well, I've got an event Saturday, just a small one that I'm doing. We're testing the waters on some Christmas stuff, non-fitness related.
Okay.
So we did that at the Christmas Village last week or the week before.
Yeah.
It all runs together.
I don't even know what day it is anymore.
And it went really good. And we're like, hey, let's what if we do more of this stuff? I mean, that's a whole nother revenue stream.
Yeah.
And it was a great event. I mean, tremendous. So I'm like, what if we do more of that? So I'm doing a small one Saturday. But yeah, I mean, today going home, and then Wednesday or Thursday. Geez, I'm telling you. Thursday I'll be home all day. Friday I'll be home all day. Saturday I'll go do this event for 5, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever it is. Have the rest of the evening off. Watch a little college football. Watch Alabama Crimson Tide lose another one. And
It's a rebuild year.
Yeah, no, don't get me started. I will rant and rave. And then and then Sunday, rest and come back at it Monday.
Yeah.
Can we call it TO?
Time out. So those are your ways to kind of like stay in like in the moment. Do you feel like you ever get distracted during the holidays with something that you want to do?
Of course.
What do you do then? Do you go do it?
I get distracted. I'm ADD. So, no, I mean, I think this year will be a little bit different. My wife's dad's been sick, in and out of the hospital, so it's a little different. Like we're gonna cook Thursday, take him a plate to Huntsville. We're gonna come back that night, go to the Blades house.
Nice.
I don't know if you see him walk in on the video. Go to their house, hang out, have some adult beverages.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be pretty in the moment for the most part, and I think you get better too as time goes on, where I'll get a text or an email or something and I address it or move it for later, and that's where it sits.
That's good.
And I just keep rolling with what I'm doing.
Yeah. No, don't underestimate the power of the little star on Gmail.
No kidding, dude. No kidding.
Prioritize that email.
Forward that to somebody else to deal with.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I keep so we'll travel, like for Christmas we'll travel. This year it's a lot going on. We usually go up to Ohio. I mean, we're staying here for Thanksgiving. I always keep my notebook open, my to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
And I get an idea. This happens all day, every day anyway. This is also how I keep myself disengaged on Sundays, because nowadays I'm working 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Because of events, is I will run and write down the idea, or the thing that pops in my memory that I didn't get done, or something I just don't want to forget about. I will make a list item on my to-do list, because that's always gratifying to go back and cross it off.
Yeah.
And that to-do list dictates my work typically for the day, because I'm usually putting stuff on there that is random, that I do anyway, that I won't forget, that are scheduled on these certain days. But it just helps me be able to sit down and know that work is on my right side.
I am terrible.
Yeah.
With to-do lists.
Are you?
I'm not good with doing that.
I didn't get into that.
And calendars, as you know.
That's true. He's just like, one, I need a calendar invite. 2, you're going to have to remind me.
Yes, which is terrible. Like, dude, I sent you an invite.
It's
yeah,
fine.
I know.
It's fine. I'll do it for you. The list came about for me when we started working together for the expo, and then the magazine. We got the magazine.
Yeah.
Because in order to remember what it takes to run a magazine, which I didn't know prior to buying it, I had to write it all down.
Sure.
Because that's actually
the seat of your pants.
Yeah, and that's actually how I got certified as a trainer too. Like I would write it all out, and I'd make these giant poster boards. I ended up putting them up in the gym, and they were basically continuing education for clients or for trainers that work for me. Plus, you could also take your client over to the chart, and you could read what's actually going on with their body. I'd have to draw it out. So that's where the list came about for me. It's getting a little easier with not needing to write things down, but I feel like I got to be careful with that, because
totally.
Yeah, because I'll end up getting complacent, and that's the last place I need to be.
Yeah, every once in a while, I'll just totally miss something. I'm like,
you should have wrote it down.
Should have wrote down.
Yeah.
Got to do better.
Well, this is all helpful information for, I hope, you guys pulling something from this so that you could get through your own holidays and be present. I had a friend tell me the other day. He's like, "Yeah, you've always come off as the stressful type to me." And I was like, "Well, that's a bummer."
I wouldn't think that. No.
So I was like, "Okay, well, maybe I need to wind it down in social situations." And that the things that we take
Yeah.
as our own critique, that feels like a weak point for me. So I'm sure I could loosen up a little bit on some things.
You take everything to heart, though.
Yeah.
Where when I hear something like that, I'm like, oh, wow, you really missed the mark.
And that's why I like you. Right?
You're way off.
That's not me at all. Oh, you've completely misjudged me.
But thanks for playing.
Come back when you've got more information.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I want to roll into, as we love to talk about entrepreneurial struggle. One thing that I want to bring up and kind of go over, because we've never really gone into deep detail about this. We've only talked about our overarching vision for collaboration. So I want to dig a little deeper into that subject matter. If you will entertain that.
Sure.
What I find, and you can bounce off this if you want, but what I find the hardest part about explaining, if you're just tuning in, you know nothing about anything that we're doing with NFM or the Expo, or where Roy and I stand with other businesses and competition and collaboration. Our overarching vision is collaboration over competition. Bring everybody together in a way that kind of makes the city a healthier place. I know, Roy, you communicate and talk with your quote unquote competitors all the time.
Absolutely.
Other industry people. We're not cutthroat. And I think those days on a lot of levels are gone, in the sense of, I want to grow so big to put so and so out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of frou-frou hippie mentality when you talk about collaboration, because when the rubber hits the road and it costs you something,
Mm-hmm.
that's where you tend to see people dropping off. Have you found that to be true in some areas? I know I have.
I mean, I've had a couple of people that were going to collaborate with me, and when it came down to pull the trigger,
Yeah.
like, they totally waffled, because like they wanted me to give X. Here's a great story. This person's actually out of business now.
Yeah.
This company, it does booty shorts. We do booty shorts, but their primary business was booty shorts. I'd seen their stuff, and there was several designs that they had copied of ours. No big deal. That's fine. Honestly, that stuff does not bother me.
Yeah.
If they were going to buy mine, they would have already bought them.
Right.
They'd tweak a color or whatever. And I'm like, whatever. Anyway, long story short, I forgot how it got brought up, but somebody on their team reached out to us about doing a holiday collaboration or a summer collaboration. So I was like, sure, let's jump on the call. And they were like, well, I'll have our CEO. I'm like, all right, dude, your company's same size as mine. Calm down. Whatever. So we get on this call, and we start spitting some ideas. I'm like, this is awesome. I said, you can sell them on your side. I'll sell them on my site. We can double post, tag each other. My followers can follow you. Your followers can follow me. Right? Win-win.
Yeah.
All this was going good. And when we're getting ready to get off the call, they didn't have like real artists. Okay. They're like, hey, can you put together some of these concepts that we talked about? Absolutely. I had them ready. We jump on a call, on a Zoom. I show them the concepts, and they're like, oh yeah, I really like that. I said, hey, can you send me that, and we'll get a pair mocked up and all this stuff. Absolutely. So I sent them the seamless file. Then they kind of ghosted me. Like, I would follow up, no return. I'm like, Man,
That's
I guess,
interesting.
do they just decide not to? Which, fine.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. We keep rolling with our business. Doesn't slow us down. I was just like, oh, that sucks. That would have been really cool for two very similar brands to work together.
100%.
Then I see a post on Instagram where they released those pair of shorts. I was like, wow, that's kind of messed up.
That's not cool.
So I sent a message to the owner of the company. I was like, that's really, I'm confused. That's the design I sent you.
Yeah.
They changed the background color. So instead of a blue pair of shorts, it was like a brownish color. And then, but the graphics inside of the background is exact same.
Really?
Exact. And I'm like, wow, and she's like, oh, we drew this. I'm like, literally, here's the email. I forwarded her the email that I had sent her. I was like, here's where I sent you the file. Anyway, long story short, they go out of business. But I think like where that went south, we're confident enough in our product that we put out that we're not worried.
Yeah.
Right? Is somebody going to buy somebody else's shirt, shorts, whatever? Of course. I don't have this, like, I've got more than one pair of socks in my drawer. They're not all the same brand.
That's exactly right, yeah.
There's more than enough. There's whatever billion people on the planet. We're good. We're fine.
Couldn't possibly service them all.
You can't service them all.
Right.
There's no way. So I think where stuff like that goes wrong is they get intimidated and they're like, well, what if one of our people follows them and then starts buying from them and we lose a $40 sale? Or what if they buy your stuff?
Right. I think the people get lost in the short, like in the short problems and not the long term.
Yeah.
Right benefits. You're looking at the short, things that could stress you out, things that you wouldn't normally, quote unquote, give away. Yeah. I heard one girl, business owner, who has an awesome collaboration going in East Nashville, and it's between her and two other studios. And she's like, yeah, I have struggled with knowing that I'm splitting a membership with the other two. But if I stay there thinking about I'm making less money on that one person, I'll forget that I may pull from somebody, right? Or I'm going to make 2/3 off of the other two, right? Like the short-term problems get in the way of the long-term benefits. And I was like, that's a great mentality to have because that's where a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah, you have to be confident in your product.
Right.
And as long as you are putting out the best product that you can, you're not cutting corners, you're not, shorting anyone, anything like that. You have a standard within your company and you deliver that standard, people are going to buy it or not buy it.
100%.
You can't worry about that. You will never sleep. Do your best.
Yeah.
Again, there's a billion people on the planet, whatever it is. You are going to have plenty of, more than you need.
Right.
To make a great living and build a business.
So, two important points. Collaboration is going to cost you something.
Sure.
Right? And it could seemingly cost you a sale or a follower here or there. But, which I should, before I go on to say the next point, that collaboration should cost equally, though.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're collaborating well. If it ever feels like it's not balanced, then maybe you walk away from that one or you ask for more.
But I think it's always a net positive.
Yeah.
You may lose a sale or whatever to this person, but then you got 3 over here that do.
Right.
So it's a net positive, and even if that person doesn't buy your product today, you've gotten in front of a new person who at some point, will give you a shot.
Right.
Just, again, you have to be confident in what you are delivering, what you are selling, what you are providing, service, product, whatever, and don't worry about the rest.
There's a great analogy that I like to pull from, like when it comes to business collaboration. It's the same as a relationship.
It's a give and take. Yeah.
Like if you're in a relationship, you're looking to find a spouse. Like you want your complementary opposite.
Yeah.
Right. The right things in common, and not everything in common,
Yeah.
but the right things. Two, in order to move forward into that relationship to end up being together forever, you both have to lay some things down.
Mm-hmm.
You both have to pay something. It's going to cost you both something. So if you can't get there business wise, think about how you got there in your relationship. And if you've gotten there on no level, maybe
you're the problem.
Maybe you're the problem. I mean, that's the best way to say it. It's the most blunt way to say it. That problem likely stems from your inability to collaborate. And that usually you can attribute it to fear and a large amount of insecurity, which oftentimes leads to this defense, this wall you build that is all about your pride and thinking you're the number one.
We all have a certain amount of energy to expend daily on business, relationship, whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you are spending part of that to focus on negative things, what if I lose a sale? What if they don't follow me back? What if?
Right.
All that energy could have been directed into, hey, what am I doing to market my business as well as market this one?
Right.
How am I trying to capitalize on this collaboration? You can choose which direction it will go. If you want it to go poorly, it can.
Yeah.
For sure. You choose. If you want it to go awesome and you get net positive out of it, it can as well. You choose.
Right. Very powerful. I don't think that people get that often enough, is that it is a choice. Like you want, if you're choosing to, like if you're choosing to compete with somebody, that is your choice. You are competing, right? Like that is it's like, I don't think people understand that on any level. Like, like you're taking the harder route.
Yeah.
In that section, as opposed to kind of playing it back a little bit and seeing what can be benefited from it.
Yeah.
I want to get into the recipe of a good collaboration, and we'll do that right after this break.
Welcome to Game Day Men's Health in Green Hills in Nashville, Tennessee. We are a men's health clinic. We're doing a lot with testosterone replacement therapy. So welcome to our clinic. What you'll be able to do is get your blood work. We'll send it back to our in-house labs. We'll test your total testosterone, your PSA, and then your H&H as well. So we'll get those results within about that 20-25 minute mark. You'll be able to sit down with our licensed clinician and go over your results. We do a lot with medical weight loss, vitamin injections. We have a few ED services as well. And then we also do a lot with peptide therapy as well. And it is something that you want to move forward with if it makes sense. You should be in and out in about 45 minutes.
Most of our breaks consist of Roy taking phone calls.
Hi, I'm back.
We also like to thank our happy sponsors over at Defiance Fuel for sponsoring literally everything we do. Roy, would you like a frosty Defiance Fuel?
Wait, it's not Frosty.
Oh well, that's the best I got.
Oh, is this the correct label?
Probably not.
Okay.
Did you hear that they rebranded too?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought for sure I was going to get the rebranded ones when I went to the warehouse.
Am I allowed to open this, or is this a problem?
No, that's yours.
Okay.
You can drink up, pal. So where we last left off, let's...
Refreshing. That's some high quality H2O.
Is that water wet?
It's very wet.
Some wet water?
Yeah.
Crack me up. We really are slap happy. Let's talk about the great recipe for collaboration, because not everybody's a good collaborative fit. I think the collaboration with clothing lines would be the exception to that. The fact that you're about to collaborate with somebody who is doing the similar thing as you is a lot different than a lot of collaborations. Not that they couldn't work. I think that they could, but to help people kind of get their appetite wet,
Yeah.
let's talk about what that would look like for
Probably the easiest is, especially emotionally, if you're not prepared to collaborate with a very like business.
Yeah.
Pick businesses that are in the same genre. For instance, if you are a nutrition company, let's say Clean Eats.
Right.
Clean Eats to do a collaboration with a supplement brand or Defiance Fuel. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or like us to do something with, a pre-workout brand.
Yep.
Chances are both of your audiences are familiar and use that products or
Yep.
both products. So that's and you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, are they going to steal my customers? We don't sell the same thing, so
Yeah, there's that. That's a great collaboration. What you're alluding to is a compliment, right, in that space.
yeah, complementary business.
Yeah. So like everybody's kind of niched in their business. So if you can out of your niche find someone else's niched in a linked way, like that's a good example. I think about like an IV place. My mind goes to VitaFlow.
Yeah.
Great collaboration is with the bar,
Yeah.
like with the bars down on Broadway,
Yeah.
because people
They're
are going to
need that the next morning.
They're going to need it the next morning. Go print up some coasters. Give the bar free services to allow you to put coasters everywhere. Great collaboration.
Yeah.
Right. Or offer them a discount on services, whatever that looks like. Great collaboration.
An IV place should collaborate with Airbnbs
That's even better.
because the drunk people have to sleep somewhere, and it's usually
It's usually best when it's not on the street.
yes, that's frowned upon.
Frowned upon at most locations.
Yeah.
I think you can continue to build on that. So the collaboration that got my attention this year that I'm so impressed with, it's in East Nashville. It's between a cycle bar, a yoga studio, and a strength training gym.
Makes sense.
And it's amazing. And then in between all three of those is a local cafe and a hotel. That primary customer, bachelorettes.
Yeah.
So they have all four teamed up and created this little, they call it the East Pass.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
And it's like, that's how you collaborate. Like everybody's got to eat, or they're going to want a cup of coffee, or they're going to want a juice from this cafe.
Mm-hmm.
You can tap into the tourist market because that's a thing that happens.
Yep.
Every time I go to a new city, I want to go to a gym. Their day passes are ridiculously expensive. And that annoys me and this would solve that problem. And I get to try 3 places on one pass.
Yeah.
That's pretty brilliant. Plus, the businesses are just enough different to where they're actually offering something. Now you're giving your client base a holistic option to health and fitness, and not a singular one, because they're going to plateau with your service.
Sure.
They just are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's
a great idea.
I mean, it's just that's the recipe for a good collaboration, in my opinion. I know there are lots more when you get out in the world in a bigger business, but yeah, that's what it means for collaboration over competition.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody brings everybody up. There's room for everyone. You're servicing more people by doing it this way. You're creating actual change in your community.
High tides raise all ships.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. We're always looking for ways to do that. It's tricky when at the magazine I get a phone call from somebody who has a recovery studio, and they're like, "Well, we see that you already do marketing for another recovery studio."
Yep.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's a real thing."
Yeah.
And you guys can scratch each other's backs if you do this right.
With the magazine, I always find it funny when, that example or a gym. Well, yeah, but you already do advertising for that gym. Oh, okay. Were y'all in the same neighborhood? No. Well, how far apart are you? Well, we're about 35 miles. You think anybody in their right mind is going to drive 35 miles to go to your gym? No.
Right.
We're marketing to the people in those neighborhoods that are close to you, your target demographic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when logic should take over.
Yeah, well, should.
Or my wife hates when I use this term, common sense.
Yeah.
Because she says it's not common.
It is not.
Yeah, that's when it gets to be a little taxing.
Yeah.
to explain, which is why I like to get on, and do these things publicly so that people understand.
Educating the consumers.
And that is a thing in marketing, right? There are a couple of different industries where you have to be very specific with the way you market.
Yeah.
Marketing, I have to educate my clientele often.
Yeah.
Especially on the collaboration element. I work with brands that need to educate their clientele. A good one is a holistic chiropractic studio who does more than just chiropractic. But people don't know that style of chiropractic, but they're leading with that in their marketing. I was like, okay, well, it's on y'all to educate, and I can take that education and I can market with that.
Yeah.
Right? You say the same about Defiance Fuel. What makes Defiance Fuel? I mean, it's just another bottled water. How do you make it? Or is it? How do you make it, how do you educate people on it? And they do a really good job of that on their labeling, and they made it very, very simple. You can go on their website and check it out, because I'm not going to read it. But
it's in the QR code.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's like there is a QR code on here with all the information. They also did scientific studies, and the 4 elements to what makes their water better are right there on the bottle. They're educating their client.
Yeah.
Right? It needs to become part of your marketing. So yeah, we have to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
With the magazine, there are a lot of people that don't know that it's a marketing company and not just a paper magazine. So there's, we got to do some educating on that level too. But so yeah, that's what is the biggest question y'all should leave here with is what does a good collaborative partnership look like, right? This is us trying to help you build bigger business, right? This is how you scale it. This is how you get from being a single service provider to being known in your industry for what you do. It is collaboration. It gets you in front of more people. It lowers that competitiveness. It takes away that edge where you're all kind of just like looking over each other's shoulder all the time, fixing to fight. And it's really good for business, right?
Yep.
That is what scalability looks like. It often looks like stair steps with different collaborative partners. Nobody ever gets there alone,
no,
right? And I think that's a myth from the Instagram influencers who call themselves business coaches, who rent Lamborghinis.
3 weeks ago, I started a business, and now I'm doing $12 million a day.
Right. Sure.
From my bedroom in the Galapagos Islands. No, you're not.
I can work from anywhere.
Oh, can we pause?
Pause.
I'm being summoned. And we're back again.
Time in.
Yes. Gosh.
This is how we were able to get this podcast done.
Yeah.
Roy's like, if you come down here, I can make it happen. So here we are.
Is this or Zoom at midnight?
Yes. No, that's not going to work for me. All right. So as we're wrapping up, let's talk a little bit about what we got coming down the pike. We do have for the off chance that we do release this podcast this week, you at Barbell Voodoo have a Black Friday special. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah. Code is Black Friday. So creative. And it's 30% off the entire website through December 2nd. If you are a business looking to be at the 2025 Music City Fit Expo on May 30th and 31st of next year, alongside Jay Cutler, Brian Shaw, and some others, secrets we haven't let loose of yet. We will be doing a Black Friday sale. That will start Black Friday. Duh. And what percentage are we doing off on the booths?
I think 25.
25% off. Now remember, this is a two-day event, and
bigger than last year.
Yeah, huge. It's going to be a big deal.
May 30th and 31st.
30th and 31st. We're adding several new events, so it's going to be very different, or not very different, a lot bigger.
More to do, yeah,
than we've ever done. So the tickets online, VIP passes, and general admission do get you into both days. They're double tickets, so you don't have to buy one or the other.
And they're on sale now?
Yeah. On sale now, yep. We'll probably do a Black Friday sale on those as well. 25% while we're shooting from the hip. Yeah, and then on the booths, 25% off. You get to pick your own booth this year. until, of course, if it's already picked, that's why you got to
Adjust.
register first.
Yep,
Register
yep.
early.
First come, first serve.
Yep.
I was going to get to that, so I'm glad you went right into it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took off.
Expo will be here always faster than you think. And you know, we're deep in it right now.
Just 5 months away.
Just 5 months away. It is. No, don't say that. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I know.
Get that sinking feeling.
Pressure's on.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want a booth? Holler at us. Very excited about what's coming down the pike for this year with the expo for sure. Roy, would you like to leave anybody with any thoughts on collaboration? Maybe overarching, simplify it.
Just, check your ego at the door. Try it out. If it doesn't go the way you would like it to go, it's not going to sink you. It's not going to sink your business. All these things are learning lessons, and to figure out what's the best way to do any of these things, even collaborate with another business. What's the best way to get the most out of it? Chances are you're not going to hit a home run first time at bat. That's fine. Hit a single or a double. Be in the game. But, I can tell you, if you don't try, it will not work every time.
That is a true statement. All right, everybody. Yeah, that was great. I don't have anything to add to that. Other than, stretch those muscles out and get out of your own head, get out of your own box. And I think you said it the best. Check your ego out the door.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been great. I know we got to get back to work. Everybody's got it. Like I said, we're in the weeds today. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, please like this. If you do like this video or you do like this podcast, please subscribe and follow the podcast. Please share it with anybody you know. It may be a help too. And we will see you guys at the expo and on the next podcast.
That's right. And happy Thanksgiving.